This video is brought to you by EWC Controls. The new EWC app will guide you through building the perfect zone system for your customer. Make sure to download it today on Google Play or iTunes. So I'm going to go into all my social medias, especially Facebook, because there's a lot of Facebook messaging, and through all my emails that I can recall using during my business time period, which is typically my main email. I don't think I used much else, and I'm going to track down the customers that I really want to get back. Because face it, guys, there's ones that you don't want to see anymore that you could do without, and there's ones that you really like. Sometimes you don't have the option of pursuing one particular type of customer. This time I do. I can pursue the ones that I enjoyed working with, the ones that always paid, the ones that were not jerks, and the ones that didn't have like an awful experience, which sometimes you can't help that. There's experiences that happen. I lost one customer that I had a good rapport with just because of a bunch of failures in a Goodman system that I put in. Now that customer's probably not coming back, and he's outside of the zone anyway, but you get what I'm saying. Sometimes it's out of your control, but I'm in a unique position. I'm going to try to track some of these people down. So I'm going to get on my Gmail and try to track them down. I'm going to get on Facebook and go through some of my old messages and some of my friends I see on the list. And we're going to see how many we can find. My goal is let's go ahead and find 10 of them and try to touch base with them. Okay, I can't show you guys this because I'm on my email and I want you to see other people's emails. But I am taking emails that I have accumulated over the last few days, and I am putting them into an email that I'm going to send to my former customers that I want to reattach ties to. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to go onto Facebook and find the people on Facebook Messenger, which brings me to a story, and I'm looking up because I'm taking these emails and I'm pasting them over here. But what was interesting is that somebody contacted me completely independent of what we have going on here and asked me to do a change out with ductwork for them that is in South Wilmington, which is too far away, because I'm 40 miles from Wilmington as is, and going there and doing a job would really be kind of a stretch. Plus with the ductwork, it's really beyond the scope of what I really want to do and can do. So I hooked her up with my father, who still does stuff like that, and he works out of Wilmington almost 100% of the time, and hopefully I'll be able to help and he'll get the job. I have a feeling he'll get the job because he actually knows the lady's sister as well. So it's a really tight-knit customer with my father and myself. So now I'm just copying and pasting over here and sending some emails out, and I will let you guys know if I hear back from these people. Hopefully there's a few of them that say, okay, cool. We are going to focus on like maintenance stuff. Maintenance programs would be good for this particular company because it's exactly what I want. Something that's easy to schedule. I get to use all my tools and stuff, which is one of the things I love. And I'm going to try to make money off of them. I know some people see them as a loss leader. We discussed that the other day. But I'm going to see it as a way to make, a little bit of income from. I'm not looking to get rich from this maintenance program, but I do want to make enough money to justify doing it. So we're going to see how that goes. I'm putting the names in here. Just found a few of the emails. I found more people on Facebook, so I'm going to go to Facebook next and do that. And I'll let you guys know who, if anybody, responds to this. So now I'm calling about general liability insurance, and a couple of the questions I have, first of all, is get their impressions on what I'm going to require for what I want to do. I think about $1 million umbrella policy would be fitting for what I'm doing, but we'll see what they say about that. And there's sometimes people require more, might need $2 million or more than that. And whether they do installments, you pay up front, because a lot of this business stuff is going to be coming out of pocket. So I need to know, am I going to have to pay monthly on it? The same way with workman's comp. A lot of times you have to pay up front, depending on what kind of policy you have. For someone like me, if you have a larger company, that might not be the case. But for someone like me who has either a ghost policy or minimal coverage, you might have to pay your whole thing up front. So we're going to call and see. I'm going to call Farm Bureau, someone I've dealt with before, but a different office, which is about 5 minutes away from me because it's the closest people, and I like to be close to the people I'm going to be dealing with. I don't want to deal with people online. I feel like an old person. I don't want to deal with people online. I want to be able to drive up to the place if I have a problem and look the guy in the eye of the guy who's going to potentially solve my problem. So, got an email from Staples. So let's give these people a call.
Bureau, this is how can I help you?
Hey, my name is Zach Ciota, and I'm going to start a sole proprietorship, an HVAC company. And I want to see if you guys did general liability policies there.
I know we do general liability policies.
Hold. On hold.
Hey, Zach, how's it going?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Zach, what's your last name so I can pull your stuff up here?
It's a P-S-I-O-D-A, Ciota.
P-S-I-O-D-O-A?
P-S-I-O-D-A. It's a super common name.
And you said you're looking at trying to do something with the GL?
Yeah, absolutely. I used to run an HVAC business, a corporation, but I'm going to restart as a sole proprietor. I've been out of it for a couple of years, and I just need a basic general liability policy.
Okay. So if you want to switch over, there's no problem with that, but it just looks a lot better when it's coming directly from you.
I understand that, absolutely. It is sort of a separate issue, though. I think all that stuff's personal. My wife handles all this stuff. This will be completely separate as far as I'm concerned, but if you're concerned about that, we could look into it.
You want to call him or call that handset office and tell him, look, I'm looking to switch my stuff over to the Wallace office. I wanted to put the request in to have my stuff transferred over there. And once you get it over here, then we can look at that GL and stuff together.
Absolutely. Well, I definitely want to switch it somewhere closer because we live in right now, so we're right down the street.
No problem at all working on this with you guys. Like I said, I just don't like stepping on other agents' toes and stuff. Yeah. So is it going to be basically the same way that these GLs were? I said it's a town and country area.
The same as before. It's going to be an HVAC company. It's probably less, yes, a service company, and it's going to be less volume than before. So it's just going to be a really basic policy.
Do you have any contractors that are looking to work with you right now? Do you have any jobs that you're already getting subcontracted for that they've given you any kind of minimum liability limits that I need to be aware of?
This is very preliminary. In the past, I believe the minimums that I was required to have was $1 million policy. I think I'd have to double check it. It's either $1 million or $2 million. I think it was $1 million.
That's typical as $1 million, but I have had some guys who have started getting $2 million.
All I'm looking to do is do HVAC service calls in a residential setting. Minimal contractors even involved with it as far as general contracting and stuff like that. So it really shouldn't be an issue. I'll get with the one person that I may work with and just make sure that $1 million is sufficient.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. If you can find that out for me, that way we can kind of go ahead instead of having to do a change later on down the road. We already got it set up the way it needs to be.
That sounds great. I really appreciate it, Daniel.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Zach.
Talk to you soon. All right, so what they're saying is that I have some policies at a different branch of this insurance company, and it's about 40 miles away because the guy who was handling my policy used to live very close, but now he's moved to a different branch, and the kind of policies went with him. So I'm going to try to move them up to this branch that's about 5 miles away because, like I said, I like to see people face-to-face. I hate phones for the most part. I'm better at phones now than I was, but I like seeing people face-to-face because you like seeing the inflections and all that stuff. That's how I like to do it. So we're going to move them over there. We'll see about doing that, and we'll take you guys along for the ride. Okay, so I am in my car heading into the big town of Wallace, population many, and going to one of the little insurance agencies there. I have to sign a form because I'm switching my personal policy, my auto policy, from one location to the other, so there's a form to sign, no big deal. And if my dude is in that I talked to on the phone, then I can go meet with him. I have about an hour before I have to leave and go to the kids' school, pick them up. So we're going to try to hit that, maybe get some chicken food while we're there. You know how it is. I also need to I'd like to have another one of them Husky totes because I'm driving a Tahoe, and there's room in the back to put some tool totes. I do want to get a dedicated work vehicle, but I'm taking my time with it. Gonna go nice and easy because I can use this vehicle no problem. So that's where I'm at. So let's see what happens at the insurance agency and we'll go from there. Hey man, it's Zach. I'm calling you because I heard that your air conditioner was extra frosty on the outside, And although they are supposed to be somewhat frosty in the wintertime, if it's completely covered with ice, that's a different story. So just call me back, and if we need to go look at it, I can. All right, man. Bye. I just got out of the insurance office, talked to the guy about setting up a general liability policy, what goes into it. You have to answer a lot of questions about what your business is going to be doing. And basically, they're trying to figure out how big of a risk the policy is. If you're carrying around, like they ask about nuclear material, which obviously we're not carrying around. They ask you if you're working out of state, where you're working, how much money you're going to pay yourself, how much money the company's going to make. And something like my venture here, you have to kind of estimate. And they understand that. So they're not expecting you to be exact. So you have to come in there and estimate exactly how much you think you're going to earn as close as you can. So what I estimated, because this is a secondary company, it's very small, and this will seem like an extremely small number, I said 30 grand. 30 grand's really small for an HVAC company. A lot of them make hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. But in my case, I wanted to pick just a small number. And I picked also the smallest number for what are you going to pay yourself. And the minimum that they will put on the policy is $17,600. So I thought that was pretty fair, because there's a possibility we're only going to do a handful of service calls each month as we grow and grow and grow. That being said, I just called back my brother-in-law, who has an issue with his HVAC unit being too frosty, which may or may not be an actual issue, because sometimes defrost can get pretty thick with ice if it's cold outside, and it has been pretty cold outside here lately. So they'll send it to the underwriters, and the underwriters will approve the policy and say, this is how much it's going to cost per month. Then on Monday, or even later today, maybe he'll call me back and say, this is how much it's going to cost. It's going to be X amount of dollars per month, or every 2 months, or you can pay in advance, or whatever you choose to do. I'll probably do monthly, because I'm not going to pay a big chunk in advance. Because frankly, I just sent my son and my wife to England for 8 days. So that took a lot of money. I don't feel like spending another chunk, so we'll just do it on a monthly basis, and it won't be bad. It'll be a small amount of money relative to a lot of business costs. Mine will likely be somewhere between $600 and $1,000 for the whole year, so it won't be a whole lot. And we're talking about a $1 million policy with an aggregate of $2 million. So you'll hear numbers like that. Do I need to have this? Do I need to have this? When you get these policies, make sure that the contractors you're working with, general contractors, or anybody that's going to require you to have general liability, make sure you know what their minimums are. Because if you don't at least get their minimums, you won't be able to work with them. So that's an important factor in getting general liability insurance. And as you can tell from this conversation, I'm not getting workman's comp insurance because as a single man company and I am the owner, I don't have to have workman's comp insurance. Now, most other companies will be required to have workman's comp insurance, which is more expensive. Typically, it has been for me in the past when I've had it, than general liability, than the policies I've had there. So, but if you have a lot of employees, that might change that. So you need to be prepared to spend a decent amount of money on insurance. And sometimes, like in the case of workman's compensation, ghost policies or policy for single man companies when they're required to have it, you might not be able to pay it yearly. You might have to pay it all up front, and it could be $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. It could be a significant amount of money. So you have to be ready for that. So now that we're done with that, we're going to wait on the underwriters to do their thing. Hopefully they'll approve it. There's no issues whatsoever. I can't think of why there would be, but you never know. I'm going to go on over and buy some chicken food. I got my new hat. Thanks, guys, from the insurance company. I appreciate it. I'll never let you down because you gave me a hat. Guys, so I have my chicken feed right down here. I'm ready to go feed the chickens, but I felt like you guys might want to see a little bit about the house here. It's kind of desolate looking, like a ruin almost. Well, the ruin's gone, but it's still desolate looking. I'll show you. That's where the house used to be. It's just some built up sand. Used to have my fire pit right there. It's all crumbled. All these limbs in the yard, there's trash and stuff. It's just really, used to be a tree right there. Just really kind of desolate, but I'm hoping you come back 6 months from now, it's gonna be a whole different story. My dog's barking, so I'm gonna go feed him, but I just wanted to show you guys a little bit about some of the day-to-day too. You have to take care of your other stuff too, along with your business.